All righty. What's up, everybody? What is up, everyone? Welcome in. Welcome in. Well, we got a little bit of a crypto dump in the altcoin market today. Some cryptos down 7 to 15%, and we're going to be taking a look at it. We're going to go through as many cryptos as we can today. Of course, some of the favorites: Sui, Solana, Shib, Pepe, Doge, ETH, and many more. Now, let me just double check. We're good. We're good. Looks good. All right. Looks good. All right. Cool deal. Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome in. Of course, I hope you guys are having a good day. I have an announcement to make. Well, it's not really an announcement. You'll notice it if you just look, but we'll talk about it in a little bit. But again, today we are going to be taking a look at the altcoin market, seeing a lot of these altcoins getting wrecked. A lot of them, a lot of them. So we're going to talk about what's going on, what we're expecting. We're going to go through the technical analysis on many of them. Just kind of take a general look at the market. I like to do these live streams. We did one last week. I told you I'd do another one this week. And so we're going to do it. Ideally, I think we should. I'd like to aim for at least 2 live streams a week, just a little bit more personal. It feels better. So I'd like to do that saying soon. So stay tuned for that. But of course, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. So let me share screen here. Let me set that up. Bam. There we go. And then let's go with, I don't really like that view too much. Let's go with that one. I like that one. All right. Shout out to everybody in here. North Texas. Akeem, we're just gonna go for it there. There we go. What's up, homie? Bitcoin dominance is causing alts to get wrecked. Well, I would say Bitcoin dominance is going up because alts are getting wrecked. I would say that there's not a direct correlation in that regard. What's going on with Pepe? Yep, we're going to talk about Pepe. And shout out to the homie George or Jorge, either or. Shout out to you. Welcome in, my friend. Okay. What is going on? What is going on in this crypto market? It is looking pretty dang on interesting. So what we can see here is that the altcoin market is getting absolutely slaughtered today. Right? Absolutely slaughtered days. So a few standouts, right? ADA holding up well, WBT holding up well. Some of these ones doing decently, but outside of that, I mean, we're getting wrecked. XLM is kind of killing it, so that's interesting. We don't usually see that from XLM, but the market cap has been pushing up, 24-hour volume pushing up. I mean, we look at the week, XLM has been pushing up. Month looking good, yearly's looking good. XLM's kind of popping back off, but I still do think it's a little boring. A wine, got it. Okay, but anyway, okay, what is up, my friend? Welcome in. This is one of our Discord mods. Shout out to you, champ. But yeah, the altcoin market getting absolutely slaughtered. I'm trying to see what's leading the charge. It looks like memes are leading the charge. Peanut, Goat, Popcat, with. Looks like memes are kind of taking the majority of the beating here. I'm not seeing Pepe. Oh yeah, Pepe at 9% down right now as well. So a pretty ugly day for the memes, and that's not particularly how do I explain it? It's not super surprising to some degree, guys. What you have to remember is that within these macro cycles, there are micro cycles. And I'm not going to go down the whole rabbit hole again, but just understand that in those moments where your Bitcoin is pumping, and then of course you got your top 10s pumping, and then you see mid caps pumping, and then you start seeing the meme coins really pumping, the likelihood is here that you're going to start coming to a close of that micro cycle. And that could be what this is. This could be the end of this little tiny micro cycle we're in within the grand scheme of things. So it doesn't mean that it's the end of the bull market or some crazy stuff like I've been seeing there, but it definitely could possibly mean that in the short term, things might get a little bit more boring, not so exciting for the world of meme coins, which is totally fine. It's not a big deal. And we will talk about that a little bit more directly in a little bit here. Now, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. It is a little bit hot in here. I have to make sure I had a shirt on. It is a little bit hot in here. So we're going to go ahead and take it off, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So what is going on? Let's see here. So that's what we're seeing from crypto bubbles. Let's look at coin market cap, see how that top 10 is holding up. Let's give this a little refresh. Yeah, I mean, not a terrible day, realistically. It's just not a good day. I mean, again, you still see some of your ADA Cardano's holding up well, but, 4 to 10% pullbacks across the board. And the thing about it is so many people feel like in moments like this, right? Though I've seen the post and everyone's like, why is the market crashing? What's going on? What happened? What bad news came out? And I feel like it's something interesting is shifting right now. I'm not sure if it's maybe because we're getting a flow of newer investors in, right? Or maybe we have some 2021 PTSD or something along those lines, right? But what I hope you guys do understand is that it doesn't always require bad news for the market to pump. I would say, actually, we've gotten more good news recently than anything. There's no major war news. It seems as if the news that we got from Russia-Ukraine situation was FUD. Don't know, not sure. But it doesn't seem like that amounted to anything. Nothing recently from, of course, Israel and Palestine. Nothing really going on there. Nothing with the presidential. Nothing bad there. Nothing with MicroStrategy. Nothing. I mean, we've gotten good news. We found out Michael Saylor is going to be presenting, investing into Bitcoin to Microsoft soon. We of course did get that Michael Saylor is going to also through MicroStrategy be looking to raise money at a 0% interest rate to pick up another, I think, $1 or $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. We got all that news. No bad news, realistically. And what I think you guys tend to forget sometimes is that it doesn't have to be bad news. When the market is in a bull market, there are just going to be moments where this market goes down. It's not like a bear market, right? In a bear market, oftentimes what happens is that the prices are going down, and then a piece of good news releases, it pumps the market a little bit, then the momentum slows down, then the bear market continues. That's not how a bull market works. It's a little bit different. In a bull market, what you're going to see is these moments in which the market's flowing upwards, people start taking profits. Because they're taking profits, it goes down a little bit, other people freak out, so they start taking profits. Now people pulling profits causes liquidations, and those liquidations pulls it down a little bit more, and next thing you know, you get these little 10 to 15% pullbacks, and then next thing you know, market stabilizes, we find some sort of balance, we find a support, we use that support, we continue upwards. Like, that's the general flow that we will normally get. It's a rather frequent thing that we see during bull markets, which is what we are in right now. And so in a moment like this, I wouldn't be panicking or worried or anything like that. It's a normal cool down. And the charts that I'm going to show you in the stream are going to represent that well. You'll be able to be like, oh, okay, this isn't all that scary at all. So I hope that does kind of ease your minds a little bit, guys. This is normal. This isn't something that I think you guys should be too concerned about. Okay, let's kind of jump into the charts now and let's get into it. Oh, now that we have a few people in here, real quick, 1 minute, let me take your time. Guys, we hit 100,000 subscribers. Absolutely insane. I'm not going to go into a sappy speech, but just know that YouTube has given me the opportunity to pursue dreams that I never thought I would be able to. And without those of you who do tune in and allow me to live out this dream, I would have nothing. I would be back in college, not have nothing, but nothing compared to, what I have now. I would be back in college, struggling, trying to figure it out. And after trading while I was in college, investing while I was in college, and then documenting the journey, here we are. So shout out to you guys. Everything that I am, I credit you guys for. So just know from the bottom of my heart, I truly do appreciate it. 100,000 of you guys. Crazy world. So let's get into it. All right. So what we got here, let's go. No, we'll talk about that later. I do have something interesting dropping in here, by the way. Stay tuned for that. So let's get into this. Let's start off with total market cap. Then we're going to go down to total 2, total 3. We're going to do Bitcoin dominance, and then we're going to dive into the altcoins. Okay, so let's start with total 1. Total 1 is simply just the total market cap of the entire crypto market. And what you can see is this bad boy is not falling quite yet. It has started to slow down a little bit, and the momentum definitely is waning a tad, but we're not seeing the total market cap of crypto break to the downside quite yet. If we go to the 4-hour charts, what you can see is this thing is still rather, melting upwards, one would say, and it's mostly just because of Bitcoin. And that is what I'm talking about. Like, with Bitcoin right now, because of all of the inflows and the ETFs and institution and options that just got released for IBIT, I believe, it's just Bitcoin is smashing it. And while Bitcoin continues to smash it, it's going to continue to carry the weight of the market. Guys, we are in Bitcoin season. You guys remember I made a video. When was that? I made a video. It had to have been 6 or 7 days ago. And I said, guys, we're not in altcoin season yet. Trust me, this is not altcoin season. It's not what altcoin season even looks like. It looks way different. It's way more chaotic. Just trust me, this isn't altcoin season yet. And there were so many comments that were like, this is altcoin season. Altcoins are going to lead the market for the next couple months. And I'm like, no, they're not. We're just not there quite yet. And this is a sign of that. Because when the altcoin market is falling, but Bitcoin's price is staying stable and holding the total market cap of crypto up, it shows that Bitcoin is carrying this market on its back right now. And that's normal. Liquidity is still at the top. Liquidity just hit the market into Bitcoin. It just entered into Bitcoin. People are still having their profits in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still outperforming. You look at something like Bitcoin dominance, this bad boy is still trending upwards. Now it's going to take a little second here, but Bitcoin dominance is still trending upwards. Bitcoin is very clearly in control right now. And so in these moments in which the market's pulling back, but the total market cap of crypto in general is maintaining the same, and just goes to show that what I'm saying is right. We're not in altcoin season yet. We're just in a bull market. In a bull market, you will see cryptos like SHIB and Pepe and whatever. Yeah, they're going to go up. Of course, altcoins are going to go up, but in an altcoin market is different. Altcoins control the market. Like in 2021, I want you to think back of May of 2021 if you were around. That is altcoin season. Because when Doge fell, listen, this is what I'm talking about. This is how ridiculous that altcoin market gets, or altcoin season gets. In May of 2021, when Doge was pumping, because everyone thought, this is either April or May, I can't remember, but when everyone was expecting that Elon was going to start shilling Doge on Saturday Night Live, right? When he didn't, and Doge fell, Doge pulled Bitcoin down. Go look at it. You can go look at the charts to see what happened on the time frames. Doge fell, then Bitcoin fell. In no world could any of these alts fall enough to just like pull Bitcoin down with them. Not going to happen. Why? Because all the attention is on Bitcoin. And guys, it's a good thing. That's what you want. Trust me. What you want, I know we all want to have like a market that's going to be like super exciting and boom and bang and whatever, and we're getting 100% of gains every day. That's not sustainable. It won't last. It'll only last for like 5 days and then it'll go away. And we're going to go to 3 years of death. That's all that's going to happen. What you want is long-term sustainable growth. And Bitcoin leading the charge, Bitcoin holding up that weight, carrying the weight of this market, all of the institutions being about Bitcoin, all of the news being about Bitcoin is perfect. Why? It builds the credibility of crypto. It increases mass adoption. More people make more long-term sustainable gains that can then be used to fuel the altcoin market over time as liquidity funnels from Bitcoin down into your altcoins. You want this to happen. Trust me. Because if we just saw Bitcoin fly, altcoins fly, meme coins fly, pre-sales fly, boom, within a week, ain't going to last. We're going to get 1 week of that or 1 month of that, and then that's going to be all we're going to get for an entire bull market. We don't want that. We want this to be drawn out as long as possible. As long as possible. I know everybody wants there to be these gains where we just make money like that. Trust me, long-term gains, long-term, more casual, steady growth is so much better than us just peaking that. Trust me, because the faster it happens, the more likely it is that you're not going to be able to make profits, realistically. Like if we just see Bitcoin go up to 200K tomorrow, the likelihood of you selling down there, very low. Whereas if Bitcoin gradually works its way up towards $200,000 or something like that, and you're going along the way, you'll have time to rationalize everything, take your time and slowly pull those profits out. Then it's funneling into altcoins. Then all these new projects have time to launch and they have time to run real marketing campaigns and get in front of people. And people have time to learn what crypto is and get a feeling of, okay, crypto's not a scam. And like all of these things, right? You want to see this happen. This is great. Now, that's from the macro sense. So we're not in altcoin season. But what I want you guys to also understand in the same breath is that these days like today are way more important than you realize. They're way more important than you realize. Because everybody, like, when we have days, it's so, I'm just a little not used to it, I guess. I don't know. I've been on YouTube for 5 years, so you'd think I would be. I'm just not. But everybody in my comments today is kind of getting a little pessimistic a little bit, right? Like, let me know in the chat. Are you guys feeling a little bit bad today? Like in a bad mood? Because people are getting a little pessimistic. Like, oh, crypto shit, crypto sucks, crypto's a scam, blah, blah, blah. It's not a lot of them, but it kind of is. And then on top of that, people are also saying, what's going on? The market's dumping. Everything's crashing. I'm cooked. I got liquidated, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, we just got out of a bear market, and the bear market was terrible. Like, not even that. That was last year. Like, even this year, go look at what crypto did from March to freaking August. Or, yeah, March to August or March to September. Like, it was bad. Like we just saw crypto freaking going down, just like over and over and over again, just negative day, negative day, negative day, negative day, just over and over and over again. It's so annoying. So now when we have like everything's going up and then we pull back 10 or 15%, everyone freaking out is kind of like, guys, did we forget where we were like a month ago? You know what I mean? And I think maybe you guys need a little reminding, like, hey guys, we just got out of something way worse than this. This is a tiny pullback after a nice pump. It's going to happen. It's normal. So what I hope you understand is that moments like this are important. And the reason why they're important is because they contribute to long-term sustainable growth. If a crypto goes straight up, it's going to come straight back down. If a crypto is able to go straight up and then start going a little bit more sideways and more casual, and the bulls have time to take profits, the bear have time to get in, some liquidations on the bottom side, liquidations on the top side, people's emotions slowly start to get removed, liquidations start to continue to happen, but they slow down a little bit, volume slows down a little bit, we go sideways a little bit, that allows for continuation upwards. That opens the door for this market to continue. So in these moments where we're going sideways and we have a little bit of a pullback and we go towards some of those higher lows, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You get more opportunities to dollar cost average if that's what you want to do, or you get a moment for this market to cool off. The bulls can cool down, and then bing, bang, boom, we can continue to the upside when the market continues. This isn't the beginning of the bear market, I don't think. I mean, I guess I could be wrong. I just don't think that's the case. People are still focused on Bitcoin. There's never been one end of a bull market where everyone's on Bitcoin. It just, sure, things will change. And I do believe that it will be a little different this time because institutions aren't just going to go straight from Bitcoin into Solana, usually, right? But retail's still focused on Bitcoin. Like, I don't know. So anyway, I know that was like a 10-minute rant. I'm sorry. It's just, this is good. Chill out. Like, this is just, trust me. Just trust Tyler. This is a good thing. Okay, this is a good thing. We need to see this. Okay, let's go. Yeah, shout out to this guy. No clue. Absolutely not a clue. Just yapping. All right. So let's talk about a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin first, and then we're going to dive into the rest of them. So what we can see here is that Bitcoin has actually seen a full execution on what we talked about. So over the last few months here on the channel, you guys know that I had been consistently talking about a 1.618 Fibonacci extension. I said, look, at some given point, now that Bitcoin's price has broken out of this macro channel that we were in, this right here, boom. I said, eventually, when we do break out of this channel over the long term, which I expected it to take much longer than it did, I thought we were going to see Bitcoin hit $95,153. Okay. So what I told you all was that this is like my first main breakout target. Like this is my first major breakout target. I didn't think we were going to hit it this year. If I'm going to be super honest with you guys, I just didn't see this coming. I didn't think we were going to go straight up like that. I knew the door was open because we just broke out of this channel. We cleared the 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. And so because of that, clearly the door is open. Again, I just didn't think we were going to just freaking send it like that, but we did. And so in a moment like this, what we can see is if we zoom in a whole bunch, let me kind of just make the screen a little bit bigger for you. What you can see is that we've now reached that exact level. Okay, so as the market is pulling back, we're pulling back after now reaching basically right up to, I mean, we were within a couple $100 away from it. Now, what you have to understand is that in instances in which Bitcoin hits macro Fibonacci levels, okay, hold on. Shout out to you, bro. So in moments like this, when we see Bitcoin especially hit these macro Fibonacci levels, you have to understand the risk that's involved. You just seen a crypto hit a major breakout target. And the thing about breakout targets is that these are the levels that all of these traders who are investing and betting on that crypto to go to, that's where they're going to start taking profits. That's where they're going to start to slow down a little bit because people are well aware, right? Like say hypothetically, we put in a cup and handle pattern. Let me just give you a hypothetical, boom. Put in a cup and handle pattern. This is $10, right? Here we go. The cup line here is at $10, and say the breakout target of this cup and handle pattern is at $20. What that means is that as your price breaks out of this $10 range, the price target of this structure is $20. So that's where you can expect the price to go up to. What you have to understand is that when a crypto does reach that $20 mark, more often than not, people are going to slow down. People are going to pull back a little bit. People are going to they're just going to start to assume that this thing is going to go down, right? Quite simply, just because this is where it was supposed to go. This is where it has gone. So now that that move is over, they're going to want to sit back, pull some profits off the table, finish out those trades that they executed on, execute on their exit strategy, and then assess what comes next. And so in a moment like this for Bitcoin, there's going to be so many traders, guys, who saw the 1.618 fib extension, who saw us push through the 1.272 all the way up to the 1.618, and now has immediately started to get up towards that key level, which is the breakout zone. And so what could very well happen is this market might slow down a little bit. And it's not, and I say that, it has already. You can see here, as Bitcoin got closer and closer and closer to this breakout target of $95,000, it started to slow down a little bit. Even with all the good news we were getting, people were taking profits. And so in a moment like this, where they're taking profits on Bitcoin, what do you think they're going to do? If Bitcoin is the safer thing right now and they're taking profits on that, of course they're going to take profits on their altcoins. Of course they're going to want to start cashing out on this market. Why? Because they think that there's a chance that Bitcoin's price might start to pull back a little bit, leading the rest of the market down, and they want to put some dry powder and some cash on the side. No, this is not a pre-recorded video. They're going to put some money on the side, right? So that if this market does pull back, they have some dry powder available to buy some more Bitcoin and altcoins. And so not only is the altcoin market pulling back quite simply because it's a healthy pullback, but it's because Bitcoin itself just hit a macro target, a breakout target that a lot of traders were looking for. And now we're starting to see liquidity get pulled out of this market in expectation, or kind of just in, I don't know what the word is, but just waiting to see what happens next. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not this whole, it doesn't have to be a whole thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this whole big worrying thing. It happens. So what happens from here? I'm not sure, obviously. I think that between where we are now and $100,000 is going to be incredibly difficult to get through. It would shock me, genuinely shock me, if we saw Bitcoin's price go straight through $100,000. It would take some massive news that I can't really think about right now, because we already have news of a strategic reserve. We already have news of all this other stuff, right? And so I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know. I just don't think we would go straight up through it. Now, I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before. I hope you guys understand that. I've been wrong multiple times over the last 5 years. Of course I would be. But I just can't see that happening. It feels to me like we're now slowing down. Things are cooling back. We saw one of the biggest moves Bitcoin has ever made. We're hitting that $100,000 to $95,000 threshold, and the market's just relaxing a little bit, guys. That's okay. That's okay. You can't stress too much about that. Trust me. Trust me, I've been here. I was here. Guys, you want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazy? You want to hear a funny story? I was on my first date with my current fiance the day that FTX crashed. Dude, I was on my first date with her. We were at a pool hall playing pool, and I checked my phone, and FTX goes under, right? And like, even in that situation, think about this, right? You're like, I'm like dig, like I really like this girl, and I'm sitting here seeing tens of thousands of dollars getting wiped from my portfolio immediately, right? And I had to be calm and cool and collected. And so take it from somebody who, and crazy thing is, we're getting married in March now, but take it from somebody who's been through some of the worst crashes that we've ever seen in crypto. One of the scariest moments I've ever experienced. This is my third cycle. That was one of the scariest moments I've ever seen. This is nothing. This is nothing. It's not even remotely concerning. Yes, I know. We got greedy. Everyone loved to see. Oh, shout out to the dude, Crypto Millie. Shout out to you, brother. All love. Go check out his channel down below. Please go check him out. Go check him out. But yeah, like, you just trust me, please. That's all I ask. And I know I'm being redundant, but I just need you to trust me. It's okay. I know we all got greedy and it all felt great, like all the market's pumping and we were getting gains and gains and gains, and we started using a little leverage, and now we're getting a little liquidated and our portfolios are down 10 or 15%, and like all this other stuff is like happening, and things were so bullish that a little bit of bearishness is scary. But trust me, you just need to realize, we're being a little delusional. This isn't very bad. We're down 10%. This is crypto. That's rookie numbers. Okay, that's rookie numbers. So let's talk a little bit now about actual altcoins. Shout out to every single one of you 372 members who are in here right now. Shout out to you. Smash that like button. Let's try to get to 400 people watching. That'd be amazing, guys. Shout out to you guys. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Now, what we got? So let's look at Bitcoin dominance, because I actually do think Bitcoin dominance is important. Okay, so what I've been tracking with Bitcoin dominance is the fact that it feels to me like we have something interesting forming right now. What I'm looking at with Bitcoin dominance right now is an ascending structure. And if you've been on my channel for a while, you all know that ascending structure isn't, it's not good. It's not a good thing. Ascending structure usually breaks to the downside. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee, but about 75, 80% of the time, an ascending structure of this nature will break to the downside. Now, I'm not just making this up. Let's go in and let's actually go to the 4-hour charts. And I want to draw this in with you guys, and I want to give you my opinion on what we're seeing right now, because it actually this could be a moment where a lot of altcoin investors are getting juked out a little bit, where they're seeing Bitcoin performing better against altcoins. They're going to take all their money and go from altcoins to Bitcoin, and then maybe Bitcoin start underperforming alts, which wouldn't make a lot of sense, but the charts don't lie. So let me show you what I'm seeing. So what we can see here is that we've now seen Bitcoin put in these 2 points of resistance quite, close to each other. And then we, of course, saw these 2 support levels. Now, let's see. Bitcoin up more than 1% on Cardano, is up almost. Hold on, I'll go over that in a second. So what we can see here is that as this has been happening, we're seeing this ascending structure forming. Historically speaking, whenever a crypto, or just in general, I guess we're talking about Bitcoin dominance, or tradable asset, is going up like this, right? Almost always it will break to the downside. I mean, again, we're talking like 1 out of 6 times it'll break to the downside. Very, very uncommon. Most times we'll see this thing break to the downside. Now, if you don't know what Bitcoin dominance is a ratio of the total market cap of crypto versus Bitcoin. So let's say hypothetically the total market cap of crypto is 100 million and Bitcoin's total market cap is 50 million. Since 50 million is half of 100 million, Bitcoin dominance is 50%. So when the total market cap of crypto is moving, if Bitcoin is taking more of it, Bitcoin dominance is going up. But if it's Bitcoin dominance is going down, it means that altcoins are taking more of the total market cap than Bitcoin. Yeah, we're going to go over Sui in a little bit. We're going to be talking about Solana, Sui, SHIB, Pepe, and more. Just let me get there. Let me cook. So where was I at? Yeah, so in a moment like this, where we're seeing this macro structure forming, which would point in the direction of Bitcoin dominance going down, it almost makes me start to question, like, oh, is this like, are we getting juked out a little bit right here? Like, are we in a moment in which Bitcoin will continue to outperform the market for a little bit, and then next thing you know, the alts will start picking up again? Or maybe Bitcoin pulls back out of nowhere and then alts outperform it? Are alts front running a pullback? Like, what's going on? And I honestly, quite frankly, I don't have the answer. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is that this is pointing in the direction of saying that at some given point, maybe even soon, within the next week or two, that we're going to see altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And I suppose we could continue through this channel for a while, right? Maybe even into December. But it's just weird. And I also guess there is a chance that we're going to see Bitcoin's price or Bitcoin dominance just send it, right? There's a chance it goes vertical again. We've seen it before. That's not usual. That's not what's most likely. What's most likely is that this is going to break to the downside. So I'm just watching this close. I'm watching this close. We'll go over this. We'll go over this on the channel a little bit. Because this is an interesting moment. This is a very interesting moment. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I guess what I will say is that maybe that is a sign that what you need to be careful about right now is getting too emotionally involved into what we're seeing right now. Okay. Into what we're seeing right now. Because if that is setting up for Bitcoin dominance to pull back, that would mean that the altcoins would start sporadically outperforming Bitcoin. What would cause that? I don't know. How would that happen? I also do not know. But I can't pretend like that's not showing us that that might be on the way. So stay tuned. Maybe it means like, for me, personally, what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to weather the storm a little bit with my altcoin portfolio. I'm going to just leave it alone. I'm just not going to really start transferring because it's easy right now. Like right now, what I want to do is sell some Solana and Sui and Casper and whatever and just give it to Bitcoin. Just be like, well, Bitcoin's going up, so just give it to Bitcoin. But maybe that's the trap. Maybe the trap is going all into Bitcoin and then Bitcoin dominance has some type of correction and the alts start like either going sideways while Bitcoin's pulling back, or maybe alts start going back upwards. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but it makes me pause on doing a big liquidity cycle from alts to Bitcoin. So I'm just going to wait it out, take that information and do with it whatever you may. But that's how I'm feeling. Let me know what you guys think. It's weird. Any of you who have been in this space a little bit, let me know your thoughts. It's too early to tell, but that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. Something that I noticed that earlier. So let's continue. So let's go into some specific alts. Okay, let's go into some specific alts. And just to give you, I don't know if I told you like my actual general thesis for Bitcoin right now. What I am personally doing is expecting that Bitcoin's not going to continue straight up. I don't think Bitcoin's just going to be able to giga-send through 100K. It would just be difficult. I don't think that's probably going to be the case. I think it's more likely for us to see some type of pullback for Bitcoin off of this structure while we are between now and 100K. It might hit 100K or a little bit past it, but I do expect we're almost at a point to where it'd be undeniable that some type of pullback's on the way. So for Bitcoin, I am in a full pause mode. I took a little bit of profits off the table from my short-term positions and my DC, my long-term dollar cost average bag. I did take a little bit of what's it called? Like a little bit of profit off the table. But outside of that, I didn't do too much. I'm just going to leave my Bitcoin alone. I still think Bitcoin's going to hit 130, 200K at some given point. But in the short term, it feels to me like some sort of pullback could be on the way. Someone said, it kind of caught my attention. It was a good question. It seems like you're referring to it in a negative sense. I didn't mean to, and I apologize if I meant that in a negative way. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's almost more like that shouldn't happen. Like that, we're not in a point in the market right now where altcoins would outperform Bitcoin, because that would be a rather big outperformance if we did see a pullback here. So it's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know. Whenever I see weird things happen, it kind of makes me a little nervous because the crypto market can get a little ugly sometimes. So I don't know. That was just what I was saying. But yeah, I didn't mean it in a negative way. I mean, hey, altcoins outperforming isn't a bad thing. It's just weird. It's just weird at the end of the day. All right. So let's get into some of our altcoins. Okay. Let's get into some of our altcoins. And guys, I will also let you know, if you do want to trade a little bit of crypto yourself, don't forget, I do have that deal over with BTCC. I have it linked down below. If you deposit funds between $500 and $100,000, they're going to give you 10% back, meaning if you deposit $3,000, they're going to give you $300 to start trading with. And if you turn that into $1,000, they'll just say, hey, your profits, you can keep those. So this is a way you can literally make free gains. I have about 700 of you who have signed up and started using BTCC recently. I don't know how much longer they're going to let me have that deal. It's the best one I've had since 2021. So do go check that out down below if you want. Now, let's take a look at some specific altcoins now. Let's kind of dive into it a bit and let's see what we got. Okay. So let's first start off with, we talked about XRP earlier today. Let's kind of dive into XRP. We'll just go down the line. We'll do XRP, Solana, Sui, Casper, SHIB, Pepe, Doge, and we'll just go from there. Okay. So let's just start with XRP here. Here we go. I don't know why this is taking so long. Okay. I guess everybody's on TradingView right now. So what we can see is that, let's see, here, let me go up, let me check this out real quick. Answer a few of these quats. Just throw up that James Franco first time meme and call it a day. Jason, that's about it, bro. Literally. Like, first time here, yeah, Yeah, it gets ugly in crypto. Welcome. It's not all fun and games. Trust. It's not all fun and games. A 2010 OG Well is selling Bitcoin at all-time high. Good for him. Good. Think about it. Think about owning Bitcoin that early. Like, think about buying Bitcoin in 2013 and then selling it out. Good. Good for you. Congratulations. You did it. Why are alts going down? This is a casual technical pullback. Bitcoin's price just hit a macro breakout target of $95,000. Traders are taking profits, causing them to pull some liquidity from their alts as well, because they probably expect that Bitcoin's price may pull back a little bit off of this big range we're at. It's normal. It happens. It's not a big deal. Give me one reason why I should invest in a crypto rather than stocks. I'm a beginner investor, by the way. I need help. It's just different technology. I would say that the major difference is that crypto generates more gains, typically, but it's higher risk. So it's a higher risk, high reward play. But that the technology behind blockchain can be more beneficial to the future than stocks, if that makes sense. That's my general opinion, but that's oversimplified. Let's go over a few more. XRP seems like it would be at 0.6 forever, and now look at it. Patience is key. Yeah, right. Pepe, what is a good entry for Sui? We'll talk about Sui. Same thing happened in 2020 Q4. Yeah, literally. Same exact thing. Agree. 3 coins that are going to blow up and we should have. This depends. I mean, I'm big on Sui. If you want a meme coin, I'll just throw Bonk out there. And if you want an AI play, I'll go Tars AI. I guess that's just random, though. Just randomly throwing stuff out there. Shout out Steve. Steve gets it. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, guys, in a little bit, I will tell you about something that I have going on. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the private server. I just released a beginner's course for technical analysis. I'll tell you about that in a little while, though, in like 10 minutes or so. All right, let's get into it. So when we look at XRP, I made a video on XRP this morning, and I was talking about this bullish pennant. I said XRP is more likely to break to the upside, but if the market pulls back, if XRP decides to pull back, whatever happens, do expect that we might get this break to the downside. Now, looking at XRP, what we can see is that right now it is testing the bottom side of this pennant. If XRP's price continues this move towards the downside, be on the lookout for it to hit this range very fast between $1.05 and $1. This is called a bounce zone. Okay. Now, bounce zones are important because when you create these bullish pennants, these bounce zones are the things that might get you upwards, right? Sometimes whenever you see bullish pennants, you'll see things called fake outs to the downside. And what that means is that your price breaks out to the downside, hits its bounce zone, and then goes back up and clears the pennant to the upside, giving you a fake out to the downside and a breakout to the upside. And so if XRP's price does come down here, be on the lookout to see if $1.05 holds its support and tries to force that breakout upwards. If so, we're in a good spot in which XRP is going to come up towards $1.30, in my opinion. But if $1 is lost, then obviously the door for XRP's price to start pulling all the way back down towards 92 or 90 cents is also very possible. So the biggest thing for XRP right now is, right now, we don't know. It's purely speculating, but it seems as if XRP's price is trying to break to the downside. If it is successful, and if we do see it continue here, be on the lookout for $1.05 and $1. If this zone does hold, it's going to immediately bounce back in this zone, and we're looking good. If this zone gets lost, do expect to pull back towards 95 cents, towards 90 cents. This is all going to come to fruition probably over the next coming days. So I obviously will be continuing to make videos on it. But the biggest thing that you can do today, in today's live stream, guys, I want to give you actionable stuff, right? So like things you can actually sit back and watch or do right now, rather than focusing too much on the big picture. Today, specifically with XRP, watch the bottom side of the structure. And if we do lose it, be on the lookout to see if $1.05 to $1 does start to push it back up. See on the shorter time frames, 30 minutes, 45, an hour and a half, the 90 minutes charts, etc. See if the bulls start to step in. See if that support starts getting driven in. See if our RSIs start to flip, MACD starts to flip, and the bull starts stepping in this zone. Because if so, we might get that move upwards, but only time will tell. So just watch that very, very, very closely today. If you want to be doing a little bit of buying some XRP right now, not the worst time ever. Not the best time ever. Is when you look at the daily charts, it's like it's hard for me to justify saying that it's a good time to buy something that's right here. If you're looking at it from a long-term perspective, I do think there's a decent sized chance that we do see XRP's price try to push up towards $3.27. So there could be some value there, right? You just need to be able to stomach the fact that XRP might fall back to 75 cents, right? Like if XRP's price loses 90 cents, the door is open to a possible move towards 75 cents. So if you can stomach a 25%, 30% correction, sure, it's not a bad time to be purchasing. But personally speaking, if I was going to be doing some buying, which I'm not right now, I would probably just do it slowly but steady and buy more and more if it goes lower and lower. And that means that you'll get in now, buy a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Or if it just goes upwards, well, hey, you got a nice little short-term purchase in there and you can ride that bad boy into some profit. So it's a win-win to some degree, in my opinion. But for XRP, I definitely would just be watching very closely on the shorter term time frames, seeing what happens at this bullish pennant, and then using that obviously to determine whether or not we're going to get this bounce here. So just watch it very close. The bullish pennant is the only thing you should really be focused on right now, in my opinion. Okay. Going into Solana, we're probably going to do Solana. We might do Solana more than once today, guys, because I know a lot of you want me to keep you as updated as possible. We'll probably be live streaming for like another hour or so. So I might go over Solana again in like 45 minutes to an hour. So, but looking at Solana, what I told you all today was that we needed to be on the lookout for what happened here. The craziest thing is that I released a video an hour and a half ago that said, hey, Solana's getting rejected off of the 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone right here. If this continues, there's a chance that Solana's price comes back towards 230 bucks. So maybe just pay attention and be a little bit cautious. And the craziest thing is you can see what happened. Solana's price wicked up into that 618 to 786 zone, got rejected off of it, pushed back to the downside, and now we're back around that $230 zone. Now, I do want you guys to be very, very careful right now. Okay, I need, it's not even one. Like, I need you guys to be very careful right now because of the macro structure that's forming. So this is not, this isn't textbook. What I'm about to say isn't textbook. It's purely just what I've noticed over the last 4 years of looking at Sol, is that it feels like we're creating some type of hybrid head and shoulders, which I call the double head and shoulders, or I jokingly call it the head and shoulders. But what it looks like is us having set in a left shoulder here, a neckline there, the head in between these two peaks here, so the double head on the head and shoulders, coming back towards the neckline roughly right here. The right shoulder there, which is almost directly equivalent with the left shoulder, and then, of course, back to the neckline there. Now, in an instance in which this is some type of hybrid head and shoulders, that means that we would have a breakout target to the downside for Solana of, let's go ahead and apply it, somewhere around $212 or so. Now, it's not, you know, when you look at it, right, like that's not all that unreasonable. That is the previous point of support that we put right back here. That's in the middle of this bearish and bullish liquidity that we have right here. And so I would actually go ahead and say that, I mean, it makes sense if Solana's price does decide to come back towards those levels. If we do zoom out to the daily charts, you can see here from more of a macro perspective, if I turn on this 20 simple moving average, that our 20 simple moving average is currently at $202, but it is very quickly approaching that same level of support. And so overall, you do need to be a little bit aware that we might see that more macro pullback for Solana. You see how every now and then Solana gets those couple of days where we get a pullback like that, or a pullback like that, pullback like this, you know, like this. You can see it. It does it all the time. Hey, if Solana loses 230, we might be on track to make the same similar move back up toward, you know, back towards $212 to $200. And so what you need to be on it. Sorry, I've been making so many videos. My throat's just destroyed, but that was sounded weird. But anyway, so what we can see here is that on the 4-hour charts, clearly, if Solana's price does come back down and lose that $230 level, yeah, guys, we might have a breakout target in which Solana's price could pull back anywhere between, you know, 8 to 10% or something like that. Now, yeah, Sunny G, I completely agree. And I thought the same thing at first. I've just noticed about 7 of these over the last like 4 years, which isn't a ton, don't get me wrong, but I know I've made about 7 videos on head and shoulders that just look just like this. 5 of them did break to the downside and 2 of them didn't. So I feel like it's worth at least mentioning that there is a risk that if we do lose this $230 support, we might start seeing more of a 10 to 15% macro pullback towards that 20 simple moving average. And so, yo, chill. Chill, dog, chill. So, yeah, so there is a risk there, and that is something that I would be a little bit concerned about. I think my next move for Solana here is really just allowing that to play out. I think maybe if you want to do some purchasing here, it's not a terrible time, but I wouldn't be doing any big buying. I wouldn't be going leverage long right now either, unless I was setting a stop loss around at least $215. But even that's low. Like, that's so far away. That's a big liquidation possibility, right? And so because of that, where I am with Solana right now is I'm really just letting it play out. I wouldn't really be doing too much. I would allow this to play out. If you want a dollar cost average here, it's not a terrible time because, again, there's a chance that we use this as a foundation, try to flip this previous point of resistance and a support and continue upwards. But it's just kind of feeling it's kind of feeling a little risky right now. Solana's feeling a little bit risky right now. So I would just let this play out, see if we can hold some support and push upwards. If we're going to invalidate this, right? Invalidate means cancel it, basically. If we're going to invalidate this head and shoulders, what we'd be looking for is Solana's price to push back above $242, right? You would be looking for Solana's price to clear that right shoulder. Once you clear the right shoulder, you're usually in a good spot. You're usually in an okay spot, but we've not done that yet. And so because of that, I would just be sitting back and watching. You know, a lot of the times whenever you have these types of moves, they're usually going back to major support levels, and you're just looking to determine whether or not it's going to hold that support or not. So watch that close. I'm going to go over Solana again. I'll give you an updated opinion on it in like maybe 30 minutes to an hour before we wrap this up, just in case anything changes. So stay tuned for that. One thing that I saw here, Monts said, hey, Tyler, I paid for the $5 monthly Patreon. I still don't have access. So getting access to the Discord server is automatic. Once you sign up on Patreon, make sure that I have a post on the Patreon page that tells you exactly how to connect your Discord. It's very easy. Make sure your Discord is connected. Once it's connected, make sure your Discord, you're logged into the same account that you connected there. It'll automatically connect you. So there's nothing that you need to do. Just make sure you follow all the steps in that post that's up there, and it'll happen. If it doesn't work, go over to the direct messages box and just send me a direct message, and I'll go double check and make sure that everything's set up for you. But it should be all good. So go check that out. Okay. Yeah, Sonny G. No, it's okay, brother. No worries. Okay. So for Solana, Swifty. So for Solana, the support level right now is $230. That's the major one. If we lose 230, I would expect Solana's price to start heading back towards 220, maybe even as low as $200. I also did want to mention, I saw it earlier and completely forgot to respond to it, but one of you sent me a super chat. Batu, shout out to you, said miscalculated the timing for Sui. Dump came before $4, down bad. Any idea how long it'll last? When do you foresee Sui going down to $2.60 when long? I will answer all that in a second here when I'm looking at Sui's charts. So shout out to you, and I'm so sorry for not seeing your super chat. I completely forgot to respond. So thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know. Yeah, okay, so let's go into the next one. Let's actually just go straight into Sui. Let's go straight into Sui. I know what you guys want to hear. This is another one I'll probably go over for a second time. Okay. Now, guys, if any of this stuff that we are talking about here on stream does feel a little overcomplicated, complex, like you're new to it a little bit and you're just not understanding some of the vocabulary, I will let you guys know I did just release a technical analysis for beginners course. It's 30 minutes long. It's available over in the Patreon. Guys, the Patreon itself is $5 a month. When you pay for the $5 a month, you're going to get access to that course. And there's 4 other ones that I'm releasing. This one comes with a 30-minute video, a guide, and 2 cheat sheets that I found that helped me a lot. And I am going to be releasing beginners courses on fundamental analysis, leverage trading, meme coin investing, and altcoin investing. All that's available down there, again, for just $5 a month. I also have daily technical analysis that gets posted every morning and daily fundamental analysis in there as well. So it's only $5. I wanted to just make an affordable place for you guys to be able to join the community. And you can actually join the community itself for just $1 a month if you just want to join the general chat. So that's available for you. If you feel like it's overcomplicated, go check that out. I go over everything basically in 30 minutes. Okay. So here we go. Pedro, that I'm sorry. That's about all I can say. I'm so sorry that happened. But what happened? How did that happen? How did you get in a position to which that could happen? What happened there? I'm curious. Okay. So let's see here. So let's talk about Sui. Okay. Shout out to all of you again. 524 people in here. I have no idea how many likes we're at, but if we're not at 50 likes, let's get us to 50 likes. So Sui's prices absolutely took a shit. And sorry for the language. That's what it did. It sat on the toilet and took a dookie. And here we are now, currently sitting at $3.40. And we spoke about this. You know, I've been letting you guys know, hey, I feel like some type of, bigger pullback for Sui could be on the way. I feel like we are seeing this thing overextended. We've seen many of the indicators starting to get a little bit aggressive to the upside. And although this is still a good thing, and the fact that Sui's price has been going sideways is a good thing, we are seeing a bit of the pullback now. So let's take a look at what is going on. Okay. And let me give you more of a macro outlook for Sui, because I feel like in this moment, you guys may be getting a little emotional about the fact that Sui's prices just pulled back, right? 7% today sucks. And that's a 7% candle, basically. And it sucks and it doesn't feel good, but I want to give you more of a macro outlook at what Sui's price is doing. And then I'll go back into the short-term timeframes and tell you what I'm seeing here, okay? So on the macro timeframes, what you need to understand is that this isn't a moment where you need to freak out, okay? And I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again, but that's just quite simply the truth. What you have to understand is that in a moment like this, although it feels bad, when you quite simply just zoom out, guys, you recognize it's not all that bad. If you think that crypto prices are just going to go up and up and up and up, and that's all they're ever going to do, you're going to lose. And you're going to get very upset about it because you're going to see these moments like today where pullbacks happen, and you're going to be like, what the frick? I thought crypto just goes up. No, it doesn't just go up. And, what's interesting is that in these moments, everyone's a little bit worried about the fact that Sui's price is pulling back. And I just beg the question, where were you right here? Right? A lot of you were here. Like most of you were here. Most of you guys who are freaking out right here were here. And look what happened after this. We saw Sui's price break up towards this macro high. It pulled back down, flipped this point of resistance into support, and used it to go upwards. Was this the end of the world? Was this scary? Was this a freak out worthy? No. And in this instance, we saw Sui's price, guys, pull 32% over the last 7 days. No, it couldn't be 7 days. Yeah, like 14 days, right? And when you compare that to what we're seeing right now, a 7% little mini correction right here compared to a 30% correction, it's not really that big a deal. It's not really that big a deal. Like, this isn't like, that's not that much. Now, if I'm going to be honest, and I don't mean to add fuel to the fire, could Sui go down further? Yeah, it might, guys. I mean, we could come back to the $2.50, $2.70 range. It's possible. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you're going to dislike the video, but it's just the truth, guys. It is possible. Now, mind you, I have 5 figures in Sui. Low 5 figures, but 5 figures. I don't want it to go down there, but you just have to understand that it's just the natural thing. Like, it's just what happens. Cryptos they take 10 steps up, a couple steps back, 10 steps up, a couple steps back. And in the grand scheme of things, those couple steps back are annoying, but you just got to understand, we just need to do that. What you need to pay attention, look at Sui, right? Look at this. Look at from August to now. We've had this time where the price pulled back 28%. We had this time where the price pulled back 29%. We had this time where the price pulled back 17%. We had this time where it pulled back 16%. We had the time after that where it pulled back about 35%, 30%. We had this time where it pulled back 15%. And think about it, guys. There's, what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times now we have seen Sui's price pull back 15 to 30%. And you know what it's been able to continue to do? Go up. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's okay, guys. Trust. It's okay. And this, you remember when I told you in the beginning of the video, I'll explain it and show you what I'm talking about whenever I say things like this are normal? It's normal. And so what's going on with Sui in the shorter term time frames? Okay, let's talk about that. Let me talk about what I'm personally doing and more. Let me shout out to you, Lone Line. Not quite sure. Okay, I think we're back. I think we're back. I think we're good. I have no idea what that was. So sorry about that. Hopefully the stream's okay. That'd be frustrating if not. I hate when that happens. But you guys know it's technical difficulty Tyler. So it looks like we're good though. Oh, you're all still here. That's crazy. 540 people still here. Shout out to you guys. I thought the stream was just going to freaking tank. I think we're good. Maybe someone tried to hit me offline. Which one of you doesn't like my streams? I'm sorry. Stop hitting me offline. Okay. Anyway, let's just continue. Where was I at? Oh yeah. Shout out Lone Lion. Shout out to you. I will get into that ASAP. That's where we were. Okay. Let's get into it then. So looking at Sui, let's zoom in a little bit onto the 4-hour time frames to get an idea of what's happening on the shorter time frames. Okay. So what we can see here is that, look, let me do this actually. I believe I have it pulled up here. Okay, here we go. So looking at the shorter time frames, what we can see is that Sui's price just broke out of that little sideways structure. Sui's price was consolidating, going sideways for a little bit, and now it's broken to the downside. But you remember whenever you're shout out you Trap Killer. You remember whenever sorry, that shit's just so funny. You remember how I was telling you guys in the last Sui videos that Sui's price seeing this pump was actually better than you realized. And that although it was great that Sui's price saw this move up towards, $3.90, although that was great from a price perspective, it was even better from a fundamental perspective because we were getting further and further away from this macro zone and opened up the opportunity for flipping this into a support zone. Now we're in that moment. So what you guys have to understand is that as Sui's price has been climbing, it's been setting in macro resistance zones. Okay, macro resistance zones. We had obviously resistance there, and I'm drawing it right here. We had resistance here, resistance here. Okay, so I guess realistically, although it's not resistance, we had these support levels right here, and then that one right there. So as Sui's price on the 4-hour charts was putting in all of this liquidity here, just doing this consistently, all that chop, I told you all that I have never been told you talk too much whenever you're live streaming. That's interesting. But in these moments, right, whenever we were going upwards, boom, like this, what I told you all was it's good that its price is going upwards, but the grand bigger picture here is the fact that Sui's price is building a foundation. And that's what you want to see. Because as we push upwards, it's going to need to come back down at some point. We're going to need to see the price pull back a little bit. You're going to need to see that reset, that cool down. And by putting in all of this structure and all of this chop, we're providing liquidity. We're providing structure so that when Sui's price does come back down, it's going to have all of these levels that are going to push it upwards here and here and here. These are all different zones that the bears are going to have to fight to push Sui's price through. Now, is there a chance that the thing literally goes straight down through it? Absolutely. But the cool part about it is these resistance and support levels, which are just in general called liquidity levels, are going to slow it down. Imagine if you're, Sui's a car and it's driving, right? All of these are going to be speed bumps, so that even if our price does go all the way through this, it's slowed down so much and the bears have to use so much gas to get through all these speed bumps. Realistically, there's not that far down that it could go. There's not that much room to the downside that it should go, at least. And so in a moment like this, whenever we do see Sui's price start pulling back, I don't even get concerned because sure, it might go all the way through all of these down towards 2.50 cents. That's a possibility, but I don't see it going much further than that because I know that these bulls are going to step in and they already are. Guys, look at this. Let's go to the 1 hour. Watch this. Look at this. You see what I mean? You see how as we hit this level right here, Sui's price went below it. We recovered back above it and closed above it before falling below it. Now we're going to this one and we get pushed back to the upside. The bulls are stepping in. They're going to put up a fight every single time we hit one of these levels all the way down. And the coolest part is it's not even just these short-term levels. If we go, let me see if I can accurately do that and that. If we look at it from a macro perspective, look at this. Let's go to the daily charts. Guys, remember, we also have this 1.272 Fibonacci extension level at $3.36 right here, where we know for sure that's a very important level. We saw Sui's price run up to that level and struggle at it, putting in resistance before breaking above it. And so this is another more macro point of support that Sui's price is going to have. Can it go below it? Yes. But the bulls are going to step in and slow these bears down. Remember, during bull markets, bears have limited energy. They don't have enough energy to flip it from a bull market into a bear market until the bear market comes, which is not right now, I don't think. And so what you have to understand is it's all a game of figuring out how big is this pullback going to be before the market tries to continue upwards. And when you have a ton of liquidity below you, the size of the pullback for something like Sui should be limited, maybe at most 20 or 30%. It's not a 50, 60, 70% correction, I don't think, because you have all that liquidity below you. And so for Sui, what I might be doing is saying, you know what? If Sui's price does fall below $3.30, I might just start buying a little bit. I might just start picking up a little bit of Sui and just slowly dollar cost averaging. Now, realistically, my average cost for Sui is around $1.35 to $1.40 now because I did do a little bit of buying. And so, I'm up over 2x on this bad boy, but I'm still willing to buy a bit because I think Sui's going to hit $9 or $10 one day. I'd be pretty surprised if it doesn't. I just don't see why it couldn't. And so because of that, sure, I'd be willing to buy a little bit if we're going to continue a bit lower. And say if it does come to the bottom side of this liquidity zone, which is somewhere around $2.80, that's a nice little pullback of 19% from where we are right now. That's a more macro pullback of 30%, which would be one of the biggest ones we've seen since this pump started. And it would be pretty common for us to try to bounce to the upside off of a move that low. So yeah, for Sui, guys, this is why I'm saying no need to freaking freak out right now. It's not that big of a deal. Sui has a ton of liquidity below it. Its indicators are resetting beautifully. The 4-hour RSI is already in the sub 50 region, which is generally a decent time to buy. You look at something like your Bollinger Bands, we're overextended to the downside on your 4-hour Bollinger Bands. The 20 simple moving average is now at $2.88, which is a level in which Sui's price should try to bounce off of, like we did back here. And so overall, Sui's looking damn good. So in between $3.30 and $2.80, I'm gonna just be doing a little bit of buying. And with that, and you know, if we never get down that low, say Sui's price hits $3.30 and continues up, great, cool, it's a win. Who cares? You know, great, cool. You know what I mean? And so with that in mind, that's where I'm at with Sui right now. A ton of support. I will be doing a little bit of dollar cost averaging in here. And let's say I'm wrong. Let's say Sui's price go even lower. Oh, wait, you know what? Somebody just said, give me 1 second. Someone said the Patreon link in the description doesn't work. That's weird. Let me just double check that real quickly. It should work. Give me 1 sec, guys. Sorry, I don't want to I want you guys to be able to check that out if you'd like. Guys, if you can for a quick second, check that Patreon link. It should be like 2 or 3 links down in the description, and let me know if it works. It looks like it's working on my side, but if it's not working on your side, I'll fix it. I just don't know what would be going on there. Yeah, it looks like it's working for me. Let me know if it's not working for you guys. Okay, yeah, so that's where I'm at with Sui. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So much liquidity. And you remember I made all those videos recently talking about, hey, this is bullish. No one realizes how bullish this is. If Sui's price pulls back, this is going to come in handy. Secret bullish signals going off right now. All of those things I was talking about are finally coming to fruition. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This moment now. Because now we got all this liquidity. So let Sui's price come down. Let it come down. Let it come down. Got it. Okay, Patreon looks good. Okay, cool. Yo, imagine that was like a marketing strategy to get you guys to go to the Patreon. How fire would that be? Should we try that one day? Anyway, so jokes. But yeah, so that's Sui. I'll revisit it in a little while if anything changes. But that's where we're at, guys. All good. What do you want to see next? Let's go into Pepe. Here we go. Oh, baby. Pepe's price is pulling back. All right, let's see what's going on here. So Pepe's price just lost the bounce zone, and that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Let me talk to you about what's going on. Oh, shout out to you, dude. All righty. So what we've been talking about recently was the fact that Pepe's price was in a bullish pennant. I told you all, look, Pepe's price is in a bullish pennant. It had a good chance of breaking to the upside. It did break to the upside, but it got a fake out. The market pushed it back down. And then not only did it fake out to the upside, but it broke out to the downside. Now, what I told you all was that we needed to watch Pepe very closely because Pepe is going to have one more chance to try to push upwards and to try to get that breakout upwards. And that chance was going to come off the bounce zone. You remember I told you about the bounce zones for XRP? That's what we were watching for Pepe. I said anywhere between this 1913 level and this 1833 level, Pepe is going to have a bounce zone based off these previous points of support. Pepe's price is going to try to use these support levels to try to get above this resistance line. But if it's incapable of doing of doing it, we're probably going to push a little bit lower and come back down towards this 177 level. And you can see that's how this is playing out. Okay. We saw Pepe's price back test support, hit that support, try to go upwards. It failed to clear resistance, and now it's getting rejected to the downside. Now, there is a chance that Pepe's price is going to recover this before the day closes. Something that I've noticed is that there are moments in which Pepe's price does kind of just get wicked back up. So I'm not going to say what I'm about to say. How do I explain this? What I'm about to say isn't valid until the day closes, okay? If we get a daily candle below this red box, I do expect us to see Pepe's price push back towards the 175 level. Now, from here, that would be Pepe's price pulling back another 5 or 6%, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. And the reason being is because that's just the next point of liquidity. That's the next point of support. If we lose this macro point of support right here, we're going to likely head down to the next one, which is that 175 level. And so if that is the case, I mean, obviously, you just got to be prepared for it. Now, I've told you all consistently that even if Pepe's price did start pulling back, I wasn't going to be concerned because the bullish pennant breaking to the downside opens the door for a descending channel. A descending channel looks something like this. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's just get rid of that. And so let's just imagine that Pepe does this, right? And it comes back down to even 1.6 or something like that. In the macro, although it doesn't feel good, you got to recognize that Pepe is actually in that moment still just creating a bullish structure because these, right, these descending channels have over a 60% chance of breaking to the upside. And what that means is that if you just zoom out a little bit, okay, that's all you got to do is just zoom out a little bit. Although this doesn't look good or feel good in the moment, you got to recognize that the descending structure that we're creating should open the door for a breakout to the upside. And it's exactly like what we've been talking about with Sui and Solana and all of these other things, right? We've been talking about it consistently. Even though the price may pull back a little bit, this could just be a cool down. It's probably just a pullback. It's just a reset, a refresh, whatever you want to call it. And the likelihood is that they're going to come back down, try to find some support, and use this support to try to push upwards into the bull market if we are in a bull market like I believe we are. And so with Pepe's price right now, the next key point of support that you need to be on the lookout for is, of course, the 175 level. If Pepe's price gets a daily close below 18795, I think there's a good chance we're going to head back towards the 175 level. And of course, from there, the game becomes the same. Is this going to be the support we're looking for? Will we use that support to break above the resistance? And then will we be able to continue to the upside afterwards? That's all we're looking for. What level of support are we going to use to break the resistance zone? That's all you're looking for. And it's simple because descending structures have a 60+% chance of breaking to the upside, meaning more often than not, they'll break upwards. So whether that happens here, whether that happens here, whether that happens down here, I particularly don't really care because I'm not super high on leverage. I'm not going to get liquidated. And I don't really care if it pulls back a little bit. Where you've seen some amazing gains. It's the beginning of the bull market, in my opinion. And I think that we have a lot of opportunity to the upside. We just also saw it set a new macro high from the one that we saw back in May of 2024. So the door is just opening. And I still do believe we can see a Pepe push up towards the 3 level, the 3.5, the 4 level. So what happens in the short term isn't all too stressful. So watch very closely this red box. If we do lose this on the daily, maybe expect a little bit more of a continued pullback before we do hit that next support level around that 175 point and trying to, come back up and clear this resistance. We will eventually break this resistance. It has to, unless Pepe goes to 0, I guess, which shouldn't happen. We will eventually clear this point of resistance. The game just becomes, do we break it now or do we need to go a little bit further and then break it later? That's the goal. It's very simple, guys. So watch that very closely and doing a little bit of purchasing on these support zones. Let me think. Is that do we like that? Let me think. I don't think it's a bad idea. If you can stomach what might happen here, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Whenever I do look at Pepe from the grand scheme of things, like if I go out to the weeklies, it does feel to me like some sort of macro pullback still can happen, right? We could see Pepe's price come back as low as 126 and flip this macro point of resistance for this inverse head and shoulders into some support. So if you could stomach the possibility that Pepe might pull back another 30% from here, yeah, I don't think buying on these support levels is a bad idea, but you just got to be a little bit cautious. Like if you didn't do any I did a lot of buying on Pepe in here. So, or mostly like in this last one right here. So because of that, I'm not in a rush to buy. But if you are really feeling the need to add some Pepe to your bag, buying some Pepe on these pullbacks isn't a bad idea at these key support zones around that 1.8 level, around that 1.75 level, and then around that 1.25 level, and maybe one more little key support zone here on that 1.5 level. So not a bad idea. I think over the long term, they will end up positive. You just got to make sure you have the stomach for it because it might get a little ugly. Okay. In terms of selling, I'm personally not selling. I did take a little bit of profit off the table when we were up here on my short-term leverage trades, but not my long-term DCA bag. I just think Pepe might go higher. I think from a market cap perspective, where are we at right now? 7 billion. Yeah, I think there's a day where we see Pepe hit like 15 billion or something like that. And so because of that, I'm like, Shiba Inu's was at 15 billion at one point. So I think Pepe can still probably 2x from here easily. So over the long term. And so, I'm not selling my long-term bag. Not too worried about it. This is actually an interesting concept. So give me 1 second. Mike Tran said, guys, it's Black Friday next week. It makes sense so much to dump the market now before everyone has a chance to take that profit going shopping. I didn't think about that. I actually didn't think about that. I wonder if I thought about that last year. I can't remember. But a lot of people are in profit. That's like, dude, fuck yeah, Mike. That's a great point. So many people are in profit right now. A lot of them are going to have some extra money. They want to get on some of these discounts and these sales. Black Friday and like where I live starts now. So some people might also just be taking profits off the table to go spend some dang on money on Black Friday. And they got Thanksgiving and the holidays and Christmas and all this good stuff coming out. That's a great point, Mike. That's another reason people are taking profits. Does that mean the market's over? No. It just means that people are taking profits because they got profit. Good for them, right? I've taken profits. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? That's a great point, Mike. Good job, man. Great job. Sadly, I start believing meme coins are losing credibility. I don't think meme coins ever really had credibility, quite frankly. I think we all know what we're getting involved with. All righty. We're gonna keep going. Just give me a second. I need to just let the mouth relax. I can't explain that without sounding like, crazy. Okay, let's get into the next one. Let's see. Doge is still where we are. Doge is still in that macro structure. I've told you all pretty consistently. Doge is looking good, dude. Doge is in a spot. It's in a very similar situation that Sui was in, but I've told you I'm not doing anything on Doge until it breaks out of this structure. So until Doge breaks the structure, I'm just kind of sit back, waiting, relaxing, and watching. Okay. I know we talked about the major ones. Let's talk about Casper. Let's see what Casper's price is doing. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. All right, let's talk about Casper real quick. Oh yeah, sheep. Dang, I forgot about sheep. Where is it? Where's my sheep? Oh, it's right. Okay, we're gonna do Casper then SHIB next. So Casper, I am even less worried about. Okay, now the reason why. The reason why I'm not really even remotely concerned about Casper is because Casper is actually starting to show us macro structure, and I think Casper is going to surprise everyone out of nowhere with a big old bullish structure, which I'll explain in a second. So what we saw from Casper's price was the fact that we did see, of course, this descending channel, right? So we had the descending point of resistance there, descending support here. We were in this little channel right here. Casper's price then breaks out. Hold on. Why so bearish on Pepe? No, I was just saying that in general, I think it can easily still 2x. So why would I be selling? That's all I was saying. I didn't give my macro perspective. So Casper's price again was in this descending channel. It broke out of the descending channel on a 5-wave. Or no, on a 4-wave. 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, on a 4-wave that we're on still. What we can see is that Casper's price broke this descending channel, cleared the resistance, set a new higher high, then set another higher high, and now it's just running to its 618 to 786 zone. Guys, it's so common for a crypto to break out of its resistance, running to its 618 to 786 zone, and then get rejected. That's so normal. So what Casper's price is doing likely right now, in my opinion, is it's coming back for a higher low. And the coolest part about it, for that macro structure I was telling you about, is look at the setup. You see this? This is always good news, people. This is always good news. You love to see this. Because now, as long as Casper's price literally just doesn't set a low lower than 10 cents, like a new yearly low, basically, as long as Casper doesn't go to a yearly low for some reason, we're in a spot to where we have macro bullish structure. Whether that is a higher low and we get something like this, that's a cup and handle pattern. Maybe we get something a little bit deeper, that's a double bottom, or maybe we get somewhere right in the middle. The good part is all of them typically will have the same breakout point. And what that means is that as long as Casper's price does come back down, set in some type of higher low or equivalent low, and work itself eventually back over 17.5 cents, Casper's developing a breakout target all the way back up to these higher levels, in which I would expect Casper's price to try to push up towards 31.5 cents. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen quickly, and we have still a lot of room to go. We have a lot of room to go until we get to that point. A lot of moves to be made, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of good times, and a lot of bad times. But by setting in this structure and getting rejected off of this resistance point, it goes to put us in a spot in which if we can get a higher low or an equivalent low and work ourselves back up above this key point of resistance, currently at 17.5 cents, the breakout to the upside should be phenomenal. And I think us getting a Casper pushing towards 33, 35 cents is very likely what we see there. And so with that in mind, let Casper's price pull back. Don't care. Let it set the higher low. Don't care. Let it call all the way back down here. Don't care. The breakout target should work out. And once this market does continue to keep going, once we really see it start to pick up, and if we do get a run like we saw last week and Casper can break that 17.5 cent mark, I think we're going to be putting in them gains. I think 100% move for Casper could be on the way. So over the long term, so for me, let's just let it play out, see what happens. Not worried about it. Yep, I talked about Solana in a little bit, or a little bit earlier. All right, let's go over SHIB. This is going to be one of the last ones, guys. This is going to be one of the last ones. I'm getting a little tired here. Recorded 6 videos already today, and we got the live stream going, and we're here for about an hour already, so I don't want to bore you guys too much. But let's go over what we're seeing now. So SHIB. Okay, so SHIB invalidated what we were looking at yesterday. So in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that SHIB could have possibly been setting up some sort of like ugly little cup and handle pattern here. In yesterday's video, I said, look, what we're seeing is SHIB's price broke out of this descending channel. It went sideways. Now it's trying to create some little ugly cup and handle pattern. And if we can break, what was that? That was like the 2 level, right? The 2.6 level right here. If we could break that 2.6 level, be on the lookout for SHIB's price to push back up towards 2.9 or 3. But I told you all I wouldn't be doing anything until it can convincingly break this 2.6 level because it still could get rejected. And look what's happening, guys. It got rejected. Its price is now pulled all the way back to the downside. It's invalidated any thoughts of a cup and handle pattern there. And now we're kind of just back in a free-for-all area, right? What I would actually go ahead and do for SHIB now is I would get rid of that microstructure because it did somewhat get invalidated and just look at this for what it is. SHIB's price is currently creating some sort of weird, ugly something there, which I can't particularly define. There's not enough structural clarity here for me, but it doesn't even matter. And you know why it doesn't matter? Look at let me zoom you out a little bit. Let me show you why it doesn't matter, guys. Let me zoom out a little bit. Remember the big picture. You know, this is why I tell you guys so much. You have to remember the big picture. Because what SHIB's price has been doing in the macro is not only breaking out of this big descending channel, but it's been breaking out of this inverse head and shoulders. And I've told you all, this is what matters. If SHIB's price breaks above this macro structure, comes back down, and starts building up some support here, good. Because when you can flip a resistance zone into a support zone, you're usually able to use that support zone for some crazy big gains. And remember, this inverse head and shoulders that we have here, the breakout target for this bad boy is still up towards that 3.8 to 4.447 level. More realistically, 3.7 to 4.8 level roughly. And so that means that even if SHIB's price does come back down all the way, I mean, it could come back down another 15%. Back down towards some of these key levels of resistance, such as the one that we saw like right here, right? As long as we see SHIB's price start trying to find some support soon and bounce towards the upside, I'm not even remotely concerned. Now, it would suck. Don't get me wrong. If SHIB's price comes back down and we invalidate the breakout of this inverse head and shoulders, that would suck. I wouldn't be very happy about that. Like if its price comes back down towards this 166 level, to some degree, that does invalidate this inverse head and shoulders breakout zone, and it gets rid of the idea that we could easily push up towards here. So I would like to see SHIB's price be able to maintain above that 2.1 level, possibly come back as low as that 1.977 level and hold some support here. So as long as SHIB's price is sitting here and we're holding up well like we are right now, I'm not even remotely concerned. Look at how well it's held up. Then you look at its Bollinger Bands, that 20 simple moving average is now sitting right around the 21 level. Guys, that's a good sign. Now, the bottom side of your Bollinger Bands is still way down here, so I would like to see that envelope clean a little bit and start working itself back up. But overall, we're in a fantastic spot, in my opinion. And so as long as SHIB's price is maintaining above that 1.9 level, I'm not even remotely worried. I think we're just flipping this point of resistance into support, going to try to use that foundation to push higher. And until something changes and until something is different that invalidates that, I'm not remotely worried. So for SHIB, still looking pretty good. Don't care about this little pullback at all. At what point do you imagine SHIB holders are setting their stop loss orders? Probably that 0.2. Not 0.2 literally, but 0.0002. That's where I would assume. Maybe a little bit below that, like a tiny bit below that, because we do have this resistance right here at 2, and then we have a little bit of resistance below that around like the 189 level. So maybe like 189, if I had to guess. Jesse Semino, what's up, homie? All righty. I think that's going to be I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I think we might have to call it there, guys. I have 4 videos to record still today, and I'm struggling. So we might need to call it there. A couple things that I do want you to remember. If any of this ever feels overcomplicated or confusing, go check out the private community down below, guys. It is $5 a month. I have an advanced tier coming out in 2 days. That's going to be like $16 or $17 a month, where I am going to be hiring technical analysis coaches, trading coaches, meme coin coaches, and more to do weekly, sometimes even daily seminars and workshops for community members. That's coming out later. But for those of you who are a little bit newer, for $5 a month, you can join the Patreon down below. And when you do, you're going to get access to the first of the 4 or 5 beginners courses that I am going to be releasing over the coming days. And you can go check that out. That is available. The first one I did was technical analysis for beginners. It's about 25 or 30 minutes long, and it goes over all of the stuff that I use on a daily basis, basic vocabulary, words, and more. It also comes with the presentation or the guide that I use and a couple cheat sheets that I found that I like a lot that I provided to them. And again, I am going to be posting 4 or 5 more of these. In addition to that, I do post my thoughts on news and events every day, or pretty often at least. We have daily technical analysis reports that go out and daily fundamental analysis reports that go out. So if you do want to check that out, again, it's $5 a month. It's a link down below if you want to go check that out. It's available. And if you do want to trade a little crypto yourself, remember, you can get a 10% deposit bonus right now on BTCC, which I did link down below. What this means is that if you deposit over $500, so say $2,000, they're going to give you $200 back as a deposit bonus. You can use that $200 to start trading. And say you turn that $200 into $2,000, all the profit you made is yours, no strings attached. You can withdraw it, do whatever you want with it. So they're literally giving you the opportunity to make free gains right now if you do use the affiliate link specifically down below. So go check those things out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes or so answering some questions from the chat. So if you have any questions whatsoever, leave them there for me. Don't forget to check out those links. So let's get into it. Leave some comments and questions and thoughts down below. We're gonna pause it on the TA today. The voice is starting to run out for me, guys. And I still have a few more vids to make. So we're going to leave the TA alone, but I will answer some questions for you guys. Alrighty. So I did there we go. I talked about Pepe earlier. Feel free to go check back on that. Pedro, what question? Could you copy and paste that question again? I'm not sure. I don't really look much into Moonwell. XRP, I'm holding my XRP if that's any help. What do you think about gaming coins like Superverse? I think they're good. I think the gaming meta should have another run during a real altcoin season. It's just not really catching momentum quite yet. Moonwell sold it. Okay. What do you think about ICP? I like ICP. I understand the technology now thanks to my buddy Kate O'Neill. He explained it to me. I'm just a little boring right now, honestly. David, shout out to you, champ. Thank you so much. What do you think about DOP? I don't know what that is. Aerodrome, I've heard that in my community, but I've not looked into it. If you want to leave me some information, I'll check it out. Bought some XRP at $1.13, put 25K down, went to a meeting and dropped. What should I do? I'm 1K USD down. Thanks in advance. That's a rough situation to be in. This is a little bit why I always say not to go too much in at once. I'm a big proponent of slowly dollar cost averaging my way in over a course of time, just in case things like this do happen. I can't tell you what to do, obviously. If I was in your situation, if I put 25K into something, I'm a believer in it. I do believe it's going to do well. And in that situation, I'd probably just hold on and, just ride it out a little bit. But if you're not a real believer in it, yeah, maybe cutting a bit of a loss and starting to just slowly dollar cost average back into that position probably makes some sense. You just gotta avoid that, right? You gotta avoid going too much in if something like this can shake you out of it. William Ferguson, shout out to you. Probably over 200, 300, if I had to guess. It could be way more than that, obviously, if we do have a U.S. Strategic Reserve. But 5 years, that's one more cycle. So like 300 maybe. I haven't really thought about where I think the Bitcoin can go in the next cycle. I haven't really thought of that. I haven't really looked at it much. Ondo, did some TA on that one. Looks pretty okay. It's in a similar spot as the rest, right? Coming back from a little micro pullback, but not something that I'd be worried about it. What about SHIB? Future max price prediction? I don't think there is a max price prediction, but I think like anywhere around like 60 billion, 70 billion in market cap again makes sense to me, and that's still like a 4 or 5x. So could very well go much higher than this. Okay, Turbo, please. We'll maybe check out. I think we're going to do a meme coin stream pretty soon here, so we'll check that out then. I don't do private consulting. I just don't have the time to commit to it. You guys may or may not know this, but I am the head of the HGA. I'm the CEO, and we're the biggest influencer relations agency in crypto. So a lot of YouTube marketing campaigns and stuff like that goes through us. So I'm running that business and making 6 or 7 vids a day. So I wouldn't want to offer that to someone if I knew I couldn't give it my all, and I just can't give it my all right now. Yeah. I'm going to probably buy some of the Sui dip, yes. What are your thoughts on Phantom? I still like Phantom. I don't have nothing against Phantom. Phantom's just not really done much, I don't think. Yeah. How much longer do you think Bitcoin will stay on this soft bullish trajectory? If I'm going to just be honest, I would guess not very long. I think now that we're at 95 to 100, I would guess not very long. But with all these freaking buys coming in, dude, it could just keep going. I think I'm just like paranoid. I think I'm paranoid to be overly bullish and wrong. I'd rather be a little bit bearish and right. And I'd rather be a little bit bearish and wrong because my bank's still going up, if that makes sense. How can I get some technical assistance with getting access to your community in my Discord? Hey, when you sign up to the Patreon, There's going to be one post. I've only made one post on the Patreon, and it is a full guide of how to connect your Patreon to the Discord. I need you to go to that link. I need you to make sure everything in that link you've done exactly. If it's still not working after that, send me a direct message via the Patreon app, and I'll respond back to you there immediately as fast as I can. Okay. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that. Shout out to you, by the way, Jim. I feel like I've seen you in the comments a lot. I recognize your profile picture. Shout out to you. Okay, yeah. So that would do it. That would do it. That's probably a part of it. But whenever we got the news yesterday about Ukraine and Russia, it didn't really move the market much. So I don't think that's the sole reason why we're starting to see this happen personally. Not many thoughts on Aptos, no. I don't know anything about KITTO. Yeah, TARS AI is just dealing with a lot of OTC selling, I think. I think a lot of people who have some like OTC bags and stuff like that are probably selling, if I had to guess. Which is fine. You know, there's nothing against it. You know, if you get that opportunity and you get to invest small and do it, I have. Yeah. I got a big bag of TARS though. I think that bad boy's going. I have a mid 5-figure bag of TARS I'm leaving alone. I've taken some profits in those pumps. But that bag, I'm leaving it alone. We'll just see what happens. Let's see. Your thoughts on Grass and Node Pay airdrops? I have no clue anything about those. Am I like out of the loop now, guys? I feel like there's so many things people comment that I just know nothing about. Am I out of the loop? Damn. I feel NVIDIA earnings will be extremely important. Probably so. I think not as important as people think. I think very important for obviously like your AI plays and stuff though, like render and stuff. Probably gonna move as a result. Guys, if you are new here and you're not subscribed, head down to that subscribe button. Just press that subscribe button for me real quick. We just hit 100K. Again, thank you guys so much for that. I never thought I would, honestly, when I started the channel. So hitting that it's surreal. Thank you guys so much, obviously, for that. It's been amazing. And if you are new here, if you do think that this stream was valuable, maybe provided some extra insights or anything valuable, just, press that subscribe button and smash that like button so more people see the stream. Cadena, I haven't looked at that thing in a long time. We'll check that out pretty soon here. And Pepe, yeah, we talked about Pepe earlier in the stream. So overall, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call that a wrap. Maybe about another minute or so, another more minute or so of questions. If you got some questions, leave them down, and we're going to get it going. Pepe Unchained, what about it? I haven't really looked much into it. I know a few people were talking about it. I need to go look. I haven't looked at any of my pre-sales in the last month or so. I lost focus on them. I think some of mine launched, which is a little annoying. I need to stay on top of that a little bit better, but I need to go check and see what's going on. Mick, shout out to you, champ. Welcome to the family, homie. I like render. I posted a video on render yesterday. It could. I'm gonna go with it could, but I think my gut, my immediate verse response is that it's not gonna. I don't know why, but that's just what my gut said. So there you go. I never hear you talk about Near. I've never talked about Near. I don't really have much of an opinion there. I haven't really looked at it. You're definitely out the loop. Oh shit. Okay. I need to get back in. I'm just so busy, man. I'm sorry. Do you think Pepe will recover back to 1900s before end of day, before dropping? I'm not sure. It's very hard to tell. Obviously, it depends on so many things. The 1900 level, where are we at now? The 1872 level, it might. I would say there's a decent reason to believe it might go for a back test and hit that 1900 level. I think that's possible. Sure. Come back and hang out with the common people like us. Oh man, it's not that, dude. I'm just busy. Still no sign of movement. Yeah, it's just well, that's a good thing though. If you're starting to notice a certain narrative gaining steam, but the tokens aren't moving yet, it's usually a good sign. Like you're probably pretty early, so good. Do you think a lot of these pre-sales could be scams? Yeah, some could be. I mean, it's not hard for a pre-sale to be a scam because they just could never launch. I think it just comes down to the team behind the pre-sale. I'd be pretty surprised if any of the ones I've invested into recently were scams, though. I don't know. I just don't understand why scam right now. Like if you launch, you're probably going to do okay. You might as well just launch and not be a scammer. But you can't rationalize with morons. So Prep scam. What does that mean? I'm sick of Pepe. I sold for bonk. Can have both. Can have both. But nay. What are you doing with your XRP and Sui now? Do you have potential for another bull run? Or do you think they're continue bearishly? Go check. Go back into the stream at like 30 minutes in. I went over all that. Yeah, Sol will hit 260 at some point. I'd be shocked. Sorry, this is just showing how 90% of these alts are garbage. Why? What's your thesis there? Doge, shout out Doge. Doge is looking good. Doge is holding up well. It's in that little structure we talked about in the video, the last vid on it. Chilling. What about Turbo for investing? What about Turbo for investing for month? I'm not sure what you're asking there, champ. One of my homies, Lewis, from the Money and I channel, he talks about Turbo a lot. I think he likes it. What do you think about Pendle? I know nothing about Pendle. Damn, I'm so out of the loop. Jesus, there's so many you guys are asking me about that I don't know about. I literally just focused on the top 10 right now because it's all that matters. Like, I focus on the top 10, then top 20 now, realistically. Then I have some that I like, obviously, like Tars, Jasmine, Render, etc. I'll talk about them, but there's so many new ones that I just haven't got around to looking into. It's crazy. Rafa, well, shout out to you, champ. I'm glad you enjoy it. I try my best. Outlook, man. I've been on YouTube in the crypto world for 4 years now. I've had some great times. I've had some bad times. I've talked about good things. I've talked about shit that ended up rug pulling. I've lost, but just know anything I've talked about that ended up freaking rug pulling, I lost a lot of money as well. Our due diligence team does a good job. We do the best that we can, but you can't control humans, and you have your bad moments. But at the end of the day, I will give you guys my honest and true opinion about things, unbiased, straight to the point. Kind of uncensored sometimes, or unfiltered. That's probably a better word. I am uncensored. Nobody's censoring me. But, I try my best. Okay, I was freaking out. Nah, Doge is chilling. Casper. We talked about Casper a little while ago. Alts are made for in and out only. Only hope you catch a good one. You're just not liking alts, are you, Grinch? Don't be a Grinch around Christmas. What about Jasmine? What are you worried about? Let me go look at what Jasmine's price is doing. Yeah, I mean, that's don't look the best. I think Jasmine will be okay. The reason why I say that is just quite simply because sorry, that's gross. The reason I think Jasmine will be okay is because there is so much support here, like where it's heading to right now. I couldn't imagine it's just gonna like nosedive through a new yearly high, a yearly low. Wouldn't make a lot of sense. I guess I wouldn't say yearly low, but like a low since February. I think Jasmine will be okay. I think it'll find some support pretty soon here. Link, please. Good one. Hey, Tyler, can you give me some advice on Arrow? A majority of my stakes on Arrow. I'm getting worried. I haven't looked at Arrow, so I couldn't give you a good, honest answer there. Shout out to you, John Smith. You the bomb. Can I say that on YouTube? Don't know. Stable coins, my man. I Oki the alts too, but it's in and out. If you look at them, they play the same game. Yeah, they do all play a lot of the same game. I would agree with that. Let's see. Yo, we have 270 viewers during a Q&A session. That's nuts, guys. Welcome to the freaking bull market, baby. Shout out to you. Hey, did you guys get notifications for the stream? Like, did it pop up like Tyler Hill Investing is live? I have no idea if my notifications work anymore. I upload so many videos a day, I think I broke them. I think ETH could really boom once Bitcoin starts plateauing. Even though Solana is hot, ETH is still the obvious second pick for where the money will like. So I agree. I think if there is going to be a flow from institutions into altcoins, it'll start with ETH. How do I take profits? It depends a lot on so many different things, but I will tell you the majority of my profit taking comes from just my feelings now. I used to have exact strategies on percentages. Once I just start feeling like it won't go down, I sell. Like, that's just the way I usually go about it. Been following you since 2021. You're my soul guy from $2.59 to $10 with you, bro. Love your pay. Shout out to you, champ. Dude. Yo. Those 2022 days with Solana were fucking rough. Boy, were they rough. Man, but we stuck through it, and we're here. We bought Solana at $12. You know what's crazy, guys? I bought Solana. I was talking about Solana. I was stressed. Don't get me wrong. Like, when Solana was at $12, I was stressed. But I was talking about buying Solana at $12. I bought Solana at $12. I bought like 1,000 Solana at $12 or something, or 500 or something like that. And Solana saw a pullback of from the 200 to like 180 or something like that. And I made a video and I was like, hey, we might see Solana's price go a little bit lower from here. And I got so many hate comments like, you're just a Solana bear. You don't believe in Solana. You think Solana's going to go down. And I'm just like, that's a crazy thing to say to someone who bought it at $10 to now. But anyway, I just found that funny. How many figures have you made since you got into crypto trading? Like how many figures? I guess to be transparent, I'm not going to go into exact ratios or anything. But from everything combined, from the crypto world, from YouTube, investing, trading, it's been over 7 figures. What's a better investment? Solar ETH? Completely depends. I like Solana a little bit better. I think both of their gains are going to be limited. I like Solana's tech better, but ETH is a little bit more credible and a little bit more stable. So just depends on what you like. I think the majority of those ones, I don't know where Hedera and Algo are based out of, but a lot of them are based in the US. And the US-based cryptos are getting a lot of incentives right now, or plan to. So I guess in January, a lot of there's a lot of hype behind how those are going to be implemented a little bit better. All right, I see. Yeah, your notification popped up on my feed. Okay, good. Okay. Why are alts going down in the last 24 hours? People taking profits and maybe a little bit of tension rising up in Russia. That was mostly it, but mostly people just taking profits. Bitcoin just hit a breakout target. Of course, people are just going to pull a little bit of profit off the table. It's okay. Not something to worry about. What else we got, guys? Anything else? Let me know. We'll go ahead and wrap this bad boy on up here. What videos have I uploaded today? I've uploaded... Let me see. I uploaded a Solana video, an XRP video, and a Cardano video. Did the live stream. I'm still going to make a Pepe vid. I'm going to make a Shiba Inu video. Pepe vid, Shiba Inu vid. Maybe a Bonk vid. Maybe a Bonk vid because Bonk's holding up well. What's that thing doing? Yeah, Bonk's holding up well. I might make a Bonk video. But yeah, definitely another Pepe and a Sheep vid coming out later today. XRP isn't dropping. Yeah. Hey, XRP's recovered well, actually. It's done a decent job. The 4-hour candle was a little bit ugly, but yeah, right now it's looking okay. Would you recommend leaving all your soul and don't take profits for long-term gains? No, I wouldn't say never take profits. I've taken profits off of Solana. I've closed down 8%, 7.5% to 8% of my total position for Solana over the last week or so. And the reason I did that is I'm trying to get my initial investment out. I am up almost 10x. I'm up like 8x or something like that on my total Solana bag. And so, sorry guys. I'm telling you, these 10 videos a day or these 6-7 videos a day hurt. But for me to be able to get my initial investment from Solana back, I need to close down about 12%, meaning I need to close another like 4% of what it was. So even I take some profits off Solana. It's totally fine. Like, you don't have to marry it. Take profits. I want to just be in a spot to where I'm only in profit. So that's where I'm trying to get to. Dogecoin. Talked about Doge earlier. Please do analysis on AVAX. We'll do some AVAX in the next one. How about that? All right, guys. Well, and shoot, it's like 270 of you guys here. So I want to answer as many questions as I possibly can. But dude, I'm hurting. Friggin', I've posted 70 videos in the last 7 days. So, oh yeah, I think that's going to be about it for me, guys. So look, I'm going to take a couple hours and then I'm going to go record a Pepe video and a Shiba video. I'm going to post those up in a little while. Don't forget a couple things. If you do want to check out the private community, it is linked down below. You can check that out. It's $5 a month. If you do want to access that, when you do, you're going to get access to the first of a couple beginners courses that I am going to be releasing. You're going to get daily technical analysis, daily fundamental analysis, my thoughts and ideas on events and stuff like that happen. And also don't forget, if you do want to trade a little bit of crypto yourself, they are going to give you that 10% bonus on first time deposits over on BTCC, which I will link down below. But overall, if you are new here and you do find this content valuable, please let me know. Like, I know I always say, subscribe and like, but let me know, like, what do you want to see from me? What type of content helps you the most? What do you find to be valuable? What can I do to make things better? Criticize the way I post things. Criticize the way I talk about it. I'm fine with it. As long as you're telling the truth, I'm on board with it. Sometimes I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I delete comments every now and then if someone's just blatantly lying. You know what I mean? Like if someone's blatantly lying about something I've said or whatever, I'll delete it. But if you go in there and be like, yo, Tyler, I hate the way that you spend the first 1 minute talking about exchanges. Don't do that. I'll leave it. Like I'm so open to that because it does truly help me. So criticize it, pump things up, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Just let me know like what I could do to make my content more valuable for you. And again, check all that out down below. So do subscribe to the channel if you are new and you find it valuable. And guys, thank you so much for joining in. I'd love to do another stream sometime this week towards the weekend. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you all very soon. Peace out, everybody. See ya.